Hey guys, Seth and Danny here from Jump Ship. Answering the question, do you need a fitness wearable? It's something we hear a lot from our followers on social media and otherwise. People have several different brands, whether it's just your Apple Watch or a Whoop or
people
Fitbit.
are double wearing now too, not even just one.
People are into it between fitness and sleep tracking and a number of things. There's a lot to kind of go over, but the overarching question is, do you need any of it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think probably in CrossFit the biggest ones would be Whoop or like probably just Apple Watch. I don't think many people in our space wear like Fitbit, but that's like a huge one too.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like for years I was like glued to my Whoop, and then for me it kind of like, I did it when I was competing, so I was like, oh, I need to know these things, which was in one way super useful. It's nice to have these things, but I'm so like numbers obsessed. I became more obsessed with trying to get the nice score on my app that I wasn't actually doing like what I should or needed to do based on just like how I was feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I also had a Whoop I wore it like religiously for about 2 years, and I wore it because I was training like for an Ironman and other endurance things like that. And I thought the Whoop was somewhat useful in terms of like how I would be recovering with sleep or HRV score, things like that. But if I was training CrossFit at the same time, which I was, if I had like, just say a heavy deadlift session and a casual off day run, the deadlift wouldn't really register as anything significant to me, whereas the run would give me a very high strain or whatever. And the same thing would happen on an Apple Watch. If I deadlifted, it would never tell me that you're working out, but if I didn't touch my watch and went for a jog, it would say, looks like you're working out, should we log this? And that's a problem when it comes to CrossFit training, because I think that lifting can cause the most damage or strain to your body that needs the most focus on recovery compared to some sort of metabolic piece, which we're really good at recovering from as CrossFitters. So I think that's one of the biggest issues that I had with it out of the gate.
I wear like Apple Watch every day now, and I'll turn like the fitness thing on, but it's like not as like fun or interesting than Whoop, so I don't feel like that like obsessive like make it line up right. Like, I mean, I think this has like a sleep feature now, and I will never sleep with it on. Like, I feel like what you were saying, oh, it's nice to know if you're recovered. It's like, wait, did you wake up and feel recovered, or are you still tired? Like,
right.
Why are we using these things, or we're becoming obsessed with these things when like you can just wake up and say, oh, I didn't sleep good, or like, oh, I slept really good. Like, one of the funny things that always used to happen with me on Whoop, I swear to God, anytime I was in like the red, I'd have the best training days. And I was like, am I backwards here? Like, or if it's in like the green and I'm like, oh, I should feel good today, and I'm like sluggish or whatever, I'm like, maybe I'm just messed up. But I was just kind of got to the point where like I was done competing, and I was just like, I don't need an Apple Watch or anything to tell me how I'm feeling. It's like pretty simple for me to wake up and say, oh, this feels good, I'm gonna do this, or this doesn't feel good, that means I need more rest or more recovery or whatever else.
Yeah, and I think that makes a good point too, is like you become numbers obsessed, and so you kind of are looking for a score on that or following that as opposed to just following the feel of your body. And like our program is written, most things say based on feel.
Right.
Lifting and even the conditioning, like how you approach intervals and things like that, a lot of it's based on feel, because there is a lot to be said about, overtraining, under recovering, and that is a huge issue in our sports on the competitive side, like massive. We're still so far behind the things we need to do to have these high level athletes recovering correctly for the masses. But so we kind of talked on the negatives of it a little bit, right? The positives. I would say that I did have a couple positive things from wearing, Whoop, Apple Watch, whatever. And one of them was mindfulness of my sleep. So before, if I slept 6 hours, whatever, if I slept 8 hours, great. I didn't really think anything of it. But when you have the number that you actually slept on your app or on your phone or whatever, like, it's like, oh, I gotta get to bed a little earlier. I really want to either improve my recovery score or see that I slept 8 hours of quality sleep. So it made me go to bed earlier and focus less on other things, other distractions. I put distractions out and tried to go to bed earlier. So I think that had a positive effect.
I feel like the overall, I feel like the easiest way to explain if like, do you need one of these or should you be wearing one of these is like, if you can use it as a tool, then yes. If you're gonna be someone who becomes obsessed with it, then don't wear one.
Right.
Because like you're doing unnatural things to try to satisfy a device on your body rather than taking care of your body. That's why I'm like, I can't use one of these. Like, I would need it to be beautiful looking and all lined up, and I'm just like, wait, did I even do what I was supposed to do today? Because I'm so obsessed with this thing.
Yeah, you focus more on your score in the app than what you actually have to focus on in training.
Yeah.
And that becomes a problem for some people. So if, like she said, if you're OCD about scoring certain things on your app, maybe not the best tool for you. It's just more of a distraction than anything else when you already know the things you should be doing to recover. Otherwise, if you want to just use it to give you a couple markers or see if you can build any trends or patterns in your behavior that reflect in the app, maybe it is a good tool, and maybe it's a short-term tool so that you kind of figure out what you need to do and then you discard that for later. But I don't think there's a yes or no answer, unfortunately. We just kind of talked about the pros and cons of it. If I was ever training for something serious again, I might consider looking at some numbers again, but maybe not. I know I don't need to. What about you? Would you do it again?
I just like my watch for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to know any of that. Like, I already, we sleep with a puppy between us, so like I don't sleep anyway. Like, I don't need something saying, you didn't sleep, thank you. I'm aware, I'm exhausted.
The negative reminders all the time are not a great
when you have life going on, you know? Like what he was saying, when you're training for something, it's nice to maybe encourage you to do these things, but when you have like life and a dog with a squeaker toy at 5 a.m., like, what are you gonna do? Like, you just have to
carry on.
Right. I couldn't go back to bed right now if my device said go back to bed. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And with that, I guess that's our answer on whether you need a wearable fitness device or not. So hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next video.